Every day he would tell me, "Dad, I love you. Dad, I appreciate you." Every night, every morning. Every night, every morning, that boy would tell me he loved me.
Patrick Peterson is now burdened to live with the day his son died.
All I could see is my son crawling on the ground and me trying to resuscitate him.
At just 14, Amari Peterson took his last breath.
He had one bullet hole right above his heart.
Amari and his family, a few of the dozens on Saturday who were just trying to celebrate the birthday of a 2-year-old.
I just heard gunshots, and then the shooter came in, and he came in. I turned my back and I looked at him, and then I just started seeing him shoot. Everybody running off, and then my son is just sitting there, just crawling, trying to get up. So I got my baby. I had to hop back over the counter, and I'm trying to see what's going on with him. I'm trying to give him CPR and the bullet, and he just got blood coming out his face, and it's just something that a father should never have to go through.
What no one should ever endure is now on a painful replay.
Every time I get ready to lay down, I'm like laying over my son while he's sitting there breathing, trying to breathe. Every day he would tell me, "Dad, I love you. Dad, I appreciate you." Every night, every morning. Every night, every morning, that boy would tell me he loved me.
A loving boy, a gentle soul, a life taken, and a community shaken.
He was loved by like so many people. He loved sports, he loved football, he loved basketball. You know, he ran a little bit of track, but overall, he was just a gentle soul. And I just can't see why God would let something like this happen.
They were celebrating life. As they celebrated life, someone came in and took, robbed, destroyed families.
What was supposed to be a joyful celebration for a 2-year-old's birthday party Saturday afternoon quickly turned to terror when someone came into this building in Stockton and fired several shots.
All I heard was gunshots. I didn't see anything. I just fell to the ground with my baby. I tried to hide behind the jumper. That's all I remember.
Patrice Williams was hosting her daughter's birthday, surrounded by mostly family and some friends. She says the shooting happened as they were preparing to cut the cake and end the party. Her grandmother, Teresa Spivey, says she threw the cake table down as soon as she heard the shots and used it as a shield.
All I seen was kids dropping. Somebody fell on the side of me and they was hit. I looked up and I see my granddaughter. I ran and got her, and I just started throwing kids in the back room, putting them up under the table. And I just seen the other kids just dropping to the ground, bleeding.
Spivey's sister, Bernice Bass, arrived at the horrific scene shortly after. She said she could see people carrying out children and people laying on the ground. The family shared this video from inside the building, taken when the family visited the scene the following day.
And the ones that lost their children, I am so sorry. I have 8 of my own. And when I woke up this morning knowing it was Monday morning, you had to get up and get your babies dressed for school. It's 4 parents, sets of parents out there. Couldn't get up, wake their baby up.
We asked the family if they knew of any possible motive, but they tell us they know of none, and it was hard to see who entered the building that night. And it's hard to understand why anyone would want to shoot up a child's birthday party.
I believe they just deserve to rot in jail.
The family now calling for justice.
I want the city to know on today, if you have any idea who pulled up and robbed us, stole from us, and took from us lives, tell it. You're not a snitch, because the person that did it, not a gangster. You lost it if you thought you was.
What was supposed to be a joyful children's birthday celebration in Stockton, California, turned into one of the most heartbreaking scenes of violence the community had seen in decades. 3 innocent children, ages 8, and 14, and a young adult were killed. Dozens more were wounded, and the shooters remain at large. It was a peaceful Saturday evening on November 29th, 2025 in Stockton, a city in Northern California. where families were winding down the long Thanksgiving weekend and making plans for the coming holiday season. In a banquet hall on Lucille Avenue, in a quiet part of the city, a 2-year-old child's birthday celebration was underway. Relatives and friends had gathered to enjoy good food, laughter, and the timeless joy of a young child's special day. More than 100 people, including parents, grandparents, cousins, and neighbors, filled the hall. The party had been going on for hours, and guests were just moments away from cutting the birthday cake when everything changed. Suddenly, right as families talked and children played, gunfire erupted inside the hall. The sound of shots cut through the music and voices, turning a happy celebration into a scene no one could have imagined. What was meant to be a simple gathering to celebrate a toddler's birthday soon became one of the most tragic events in Stockton's recent history. An attack that would claim lives, wound many others, and leave a community in shock. Welcome to True Crime Diaries, where we uncover shocking crimes and hidden details behind real cases. Subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories. These are real lives and real tragedies, lessons we can't ignore. Let's dive in. Law enforcement officials say the shooting was not random. Early findings indicated it was likely a targeted incident, with investigators suggesting that more than one shooter may have opened fire. Police also believe that the gunfire may have continued both inside and outside the venue as the attackers fled. Within moments, responders began arriving at the chaotic scene. San Joaquin County Sheriff's deputies, local police, and emergency medical teams worked to secure the area and assist victims, while frightened partygoers fled into the streets or took shelter wherever they could find it. Because the shooting happened during a family event, the impact was especially devastating. Children who had been playing near the front of the hall, adults trying to protect them, and relatives alike were all exposed to the danger. The sudden eruption of violence turned a night of celebration into a nightmare that would mark the Stockton community forever. As the gunfire ended that Saturday night in Stockton, a birthday celebration instantly turned into an emergency. Family members and guests rushed to help the wounded as confusion and fear spread through the banquet hall. When deputies arrived on Lucille Avenue, they found overturned tables, scattered decorations, and personal items like children's shoes and toys left behind. At least 13 people were injured, from young children to adults. Victims were taken to nearby hospitals by ambulances and private vehicles, with some later released and others kept for treatment. Sheriff's deputies and emergency crews secured the area and began gathering evidence while neighbors watched in shock as victims were carried out on stretchers. Witnesses said the gunfire was first mistaken for balloons popping before panic set in.
Okay, so I don't really come on the internet, but this mass shooting shit in Stockton has really got me so first of all, being invited there, I mean, it was a wonderful party, but I just don't feel like the news is just being honest, being in there and not knowing whether you gonna make it out. And here's the thing, like, you know, you're having a gathering, you done had a couple of drinks and stuff, so you don't really process what's going on, okay? So shots rang out. At first you think it's like balloons or whatever, and then all of a sudden you realize the second round of shots that's coming in, these ain't no normal guns. Like, they in here lighting shit to fuck up. And it was an open, like, banquet hall, so there is nowhere to run. There is nowhere to hide. You don't know whether you... And I remember thinking that, like, we ain't finna make it out this my kids. Like, bro, there was so many dead bodies, bro. The news is not being honest. They're not being honest. It was the kids for me. It was the kids. My daughter was doing CPR on that little boy who died. She said his dad kept asking, is he gone? I couldn't even imagine not coming back home with my mom and kids.
One family member recalled people running to shield children. Authorities said the situation was still developing and asked the public to share any videos or information. By the end of the night, Stockton was left facing the reality that a joyful family event had become a scene of loss, trauma, and unanswered questions. This was not just another tragic headline. It was real people with real dreams and families whose lives were cut short in the most senseless way at what should have been a joyful celebration. Here are the personal stories of those lost on November 29th, 2025 in Stockton, California. Girl Maya Lupian, 8. Maya was just 8 years old, only weeks away from her 9th birthday. Her family described her as a bright, happy child who brought joy to everyone around her. Her warm smile and laughter were cherished by classmates and teachers, and she was a 3rd grader at Aspire Apex Academy in Stockton. Her family's GoFundMe page shared memories of her kindness and the love she had for her community. Girl Journey Rose Rio Tudor Guerrero, 8. Journey was also 8 years old and remembered by loved ones as a curious and gentle soul. Her cousin said she was someone who could brighten your day with just her presence. Journey attended school in Stockton, and her family spoke about how she loved to be around people, always ready to laugh and play. Boy Amari Peterson, 14. Amari was a 14-year-old teenager with big dreams, a gentle soul who loved sports like football and basketball, and was making plans for his future. His father, Patrick Peterson, shared that Amari would tell him, "I love you," every day, a simple but powerful reflection of their close bond. On the day of the shooting, Amari was with his family at the party. When the shots rang out, his father tried to save him. Recalling the heartbreaking moment, he found his son wounded and struggling to breathe. Adult Susano Archuleta, 21. At 21 years old, Susano was the oldest of the 4 victims. Friends and family remember him as someone with a kind heart and a brave spirit. According to those who knew him, Susano tried to protect others during the shooting, showing courage in the face of danger, an act of selflessness that deeply moved his community. He had been celebrating with family and friends at the party when the violence erupted. The loss was felt far beyond the victims' families, touching the entire Stockton community. Vigils were held where loved ones gathered to light candles, leave flowers, and remember the lives taken at what was meant to be a joyful family celebration. Families created memorial funds online to help cover funeral costs and support one another.
Stockton faith leaders and community members just held a news conference in honor of the 15 victims of the shooting. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us live now as the community continues to grieve. And Roxanne, around 200 people stood together for that candlelight vigil.
Nazi, a very emotional day here as hundreds gathered for that vigil. We actually still have a few people here just talking amongst themselves and hugging, sharing thoughts. And we actually have a little bit of a memorial that's been left behind with some candles and flowers here. Now, earlier today, faith leaders, they came together to call on city leaders for direction and asking how to bring this community together. Many of those who took to the podium demanding change, saying enough is enough. The vigil was held right up the road from where the shooting happened on Thornton Road, and it was led by Faith in the Valley. Multiple faith leaders from different congregations here in Stockton spoke to dozens of people from the community, some of them who knew the victims of the shooting. I try to speak to some of them, but I think they're hurting right now because they didn't want to speak with us on camera. But they did here honor the lives that were lost. They prayed for the injured, and they stood with the Stockton community during this devastating time. Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi also addressing her community.
Let this not be in vain. Promise that we are going to do something together to uplift our community and cover these families. They're going to need us now more than ever. And if you find it in your heart, I know they're going to be planning arrangements for their children to bury them. Please, out of the goodness of your heart, if you could donate to them, it would be greatly appreciated.
Tonight, we also spoke with the mother who brought her young daughter to the vigil. She shared with us that some of her children are hurting deeply right now, as are other young children in this community. She says now is the time for families to speak to the children and share their support for them. I'm live in Stockton. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Roxanne, thank you. It's so heartbreaking to see people standing there with candles just sobbing, and to think about what these children went through and how that will stay with them for a lifetime. Thank you for being out there and bringing us that live report, Roxanne. We'll have more on tonight's vigil at ABC 10 News at 6. Many local and state leaders responding to the shooting as well. California Governor Gavin Newsom saying on X, quote, "Today, local authorities confirmed the victims of the Stockton shooting were just 8, 9, 14, and 21 years old, and that the attack was likely targeted. Our hearts break for the families and the entire Stockton community." Senator Adam Schiff also posting on X that he's, quote, "heartbroken to learn of a mass shooting and the loss of 4 innocent lives at a family gathering in Stockton. My thoughts are with the families of the victims, including the 10 who were injured." The senator also said he is closely monitoring developments about the suspected shooter. On Facebook, Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi said in part, quote, "The person or people responsible will lose their freedom for life." But they also handed out a life sentence to their own families and to the people who may have loved them, because once they are arrested, they will never see the light of day again. She also said she is matching Crime Stoppers' $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those involved. Councilwoman Mariela Ponce also contributed $5,000 to the bounty, bringing the total to $25,000. Stockton Unified School District Superintendent Dr. Michelle Rodriguez released a statement today saying, quote, "As educators, our hearts are heavy anytime a child is hurt. We will do all we can to support our students and our community. To help ensure students and staff receive the care they need, Stockton Unified School District will have counselors and mental health clinicians available at all of our 55 school sites."
In a public gesture of support, Nigerian artist Burna Boy offered to pay for the funerals of the children who were killed, saying he was deeply moved by the tragedy. Alongside the outpouring of sympathy, some families also faced hurtful online comments, adding to their emotional burden. The impact of the violence extended well beyond the night of the shooting. Maya, Journey, Amari, and Susano were more than victims. They were children and a young adult with families, friends, and futures that were suddenly taken away. Following the November 29, 2025 shooting in Stockton, law enforcement began a broad investigation to determine who carried out the attack and why.
Many leaders are demanding the community take action to bring the suspected shooter or shooters to justice.
These animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that. And so if you know anything about this, you have to come forward and tell us what you know.
State leadership also underscored solidarity with Stockton. The governor of California condemned the shooting, directed flags at the state capitol to fly a half-staff, and reminded residents of support and crisis resources available across the state. This wide range of community and government reactions reflects a collective desire to help survivors, support grieving families, and push for safer neighborhoods moving forward. Even as Stockton continues to navigate deep emotional wounds that will take time to heal. In the aftermath of the November 29, 2025 mass shooting in Stockton, 2 men who attended the party were arrested, but neither is believed to be a shooter or suspect in the attack itself. Authorities clarified that their arrests were for other legal violations, not for involvement in the shooting.
In court Thursday afternoon, Luciano Guerrero walked in wearing an orange jail jumpsuit, facing a judge for the first time after being arrested Monday morning for parole violation. He was with family at Saturday night's party when shots were fired. Guerrero has 2 different cases pending. According to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, in 2023, Guerrero was sentenced to a total of 2 years for carrying a loaded firearm in public while an active gang member, and for evading a peace officer while driving recklessly. The judge did not set a bail for the parole violation, but a previous $250,000 bail on another case was doubled to $500,000. His next court date is on December 11th. Only a few floors down, Billy Williams had his arraignment for parole revocation. That is the process of returning a parolee to prison for violating the conditions of their parole, which authorities believe Williams did the night of the shooting. On Tuesday, KCRA spoke to Williams, who described the chaos during and after the shooting that took 4 lives. The sheriff's office says Williams has a criminal history, including felony charges of injury to a spouse, domestic violence, false imprisonment of a person, felony vandalism, and willful cruelty to a child. In court today, Williams, whose sister threw the party Saturday night, was appointed an attorney. The judge says parole has asked Williams to serve 180 days in the county jail. After a lot of back and forth between Williams and his attorney, the judge offered to put it over for further arraignment, to which the attorney agreed. Williams' next court date has been set for Monday, December 8th. Live in San Joaquin County, I'm Anahita Jafari, KCRA 3 News.
All right, thanks for catching us up on that part of the still unfolding story, Anahita.
Authorities in Stockton are continuing to search for the shooter who killed 4 people and left 13 others injured.
2 men at Saturday's birthday party were arrested, but officials say they are not considered suspects in the shooting, but were arrested for parole violations. KCRA 3's Anahita Jafari sat down with one of those men behind bars. Anahita, what did he tell you?
Well, 25-year-old Billy Williams is currently in San Joaquin County Jail. He tells us he doesn't know who the shooter is or why someone would choose to come to a birthday party and shoot at children or other people that were inside. He says that he agreed to speak with us earlier today, so we went to the jail to sit down with him about what happened that night at the party. We do want to warn you, some of these details are hard to hear. Take a look at some of these videos from that night. He says he was there for a birthday party and thought he heard balloons popping, but really they were gunshots. He said his back was turned against the entrance, so he didn't know who was shooting at them. He says he saw one little girl lying on the floor. He also saw Amari after he got shot as well. Williams tells me when police arrived, he says they took a long time to get into the building. He says he was trying to help carry the kids out and help them.
There's a bunch of kids there. I really like everybody else says that they seen something, like they seen something, but really I was already turned around to the kids. So I just heard shots. So I didn't like, I was turned around to the kids. Like I just started to run after all the kids that I seen fall. And I started to carry them, and I noticed that when the police came that they didn't run to the kids, they were like still pointing the guns. And I was like, the kids is dying. And they wouldn't listen.
He says he and Luciano Guerrero are in jail right now because they are on parole and they were here at the scene of the shooting when it happened. He tells us at this point, all he cares about is getting out and seeing his family. Live in Stockton, I'm Anahita Jafari, KCRA 3 News.
Did he happen to say anything, Anahita, about someone at the party being targeted for that shooting?
We know that a lot of people have been asking this, and I did ask him that question as well. He says he doesn't understand why, if somebody inside was targeted, why somebody would come and shoot at children and innocent people. He says he doesn't understand why that might have happened, but we'll have more of that full conversation with him later tonight.
All right, Anahita, thank you.
Public figures also weighed in. Stockton Vice Mayor Jason Lee expressed deep sorrow and urged community healing, reminding followers that the tragedy was a moment for unity rather than division.
This is not time for politics. This is time for action. Every single child in this community deserves to graduate. As you're posting on social media because you're trying to figure out how you're feeling with this experience, they're reliving it every post that a post goes up. And I want to say to Patrick, I really do appreciate your courage and your sharing of Amari's life with the world, because the world is watching, and I want you to know that you all are standing alone in this. The other thing I want to do is address the no-snitch culture that we have in this community, where people are afraid to come forward and speak. And so I would say to those who know stuff, because this community is a really small community, everybody knows everybody and everybody is talking. I encourage you to come forward and to share that information with the proper authorities.
Other residents and commentators criticized harmful narratives online and encouraged empathy over speculation, especially regarding the loss of young lives. The Stockton shooting highlights how social media can serve as both a source of solace and a platform for harmful discourse. While many shared condolences and efforts to raise awareness, others spread rumors, blame, or insensitive comments. Experts emphasize the importance of responsible online communication in the aftermath of mass violence to support survivors and avoid further harm to victims' families. The online response to the Stockton shooting reflected the complexity of the event itself, mixing mourning, confusion, anger, misinformation, and compassion. It highlights the emotional weight that tragedies carry in the digital age, and how every comment and post can affect grieving families. The mass shooting at a child's birthday party in Stockton is not just another crime story. It underscores deeper issues affecting communities across the U.S. and shows why such events have lasting impact. Stockton, a city of over 300,000 in California's San Joaquin Valley, has historically faced high violent crime rates, though some categories like robberies and burglaries had recently declined. Despite these improvements, serious incidents such as shootings continue, making ordinary residents feel unsafe in places that should be secure. Even in a year with fewer mass killings in the U.S., events like this have outsized emotional and social impact, especially because they target innocent victims in everyday settings. Such incidents can leave long-term trauma for survivors, families, and entire neighborhoods. Experts note that mass violence contributes to collective trauma, affecting people's sense of safety, daily behavior, and mental health for years after the event. The Stockton shooting was listed among the known mass killings of 2025, a sobering reminder that no family or community is immune to sudden tragedy. The fact that young children were among those killed at a simple birthday party shattered the sense of normalcy and struck a deep emotional chord nationwide. Events like this expose how violence can touch everyday life, even in places considered safe. They raise urgent questions about prevention, safety, and what more can be done to protect families and children. Tragedies of this scale often fuel conversations among lawmakers, advocacy groups, and residents about public safety, violence intervention strategies, gun policy debates, and how to reduce harm in communities. Beyond the immediate shock, families, schools, and entire towns enter long recovery periods where support systems, mental health care, and community unity become central themes. This shooting matters because it reflects larger social issues, from local crime dynamics to national conversations about violence, safety, community resources, and collective trauma. While crime statistics may shift from year to year, the human impact of violence, especially when it hits the most vulnerable, is enduring, far-reaching, and deeply felt by families, friends, and communities everywhere. As the shock of the Stockton mass shooting at a child's birthday party begins to settle, the effects of that night continue to ripple across the city and beyond in ways that go far deeper than breaking headlines. The deaths of 3 children and 1 young adult, all innocents at a family gathering, shocked people not just in Stockton, but across the country. The fact that this violence happened where children were playing and families came together highlights how unpredictable and devastating gun violence has become in everyday life. For survivors and families, the emotional injuries may last long after physical wounds heal. Parents and loved ones are left with memories of that night that replay in their minds, moments that will shape how they and their children view safety and normalcy for years to come. One father, speaking publicly about losing his 14-year-old son, said the memory of trying to save him never leaves him. The shooting came at a complicated time for Stockton. While some crime statistics in the city had been improving earlier in 2025, this incident served as a reminder that communities can still be struck by sudden tragedy, even as they work toward broader public safety goals. City leaders, including the mayor, have stressed that while the event was heartbreaking, it should not come to define Stockton's identity or overshadow the positive strides the city continues to make. Officials have pointed to community events, improvements in public spaces, and ongoing efforts to strengthen neighborhoods as signs of resilience in the face of grief. In many ways, the shooting pushed Stockton residents and organizations to double down on efforts for healing and unity. Vigils and memorials have drawn people from across the region to stand together in grief and solidarity, and local nonprofits, faith groups, and leaders have urged Stockton to focus on compassion and mutual support. Beyond short-term mourning, some groups have also begun pushing for longer-term strategies to reduce violence and improve community safety, seeking to address underlying challenges that contribute to this kind of violence. These conversations, difficult and charged as they may be, are part of what gives meaning to the lives lost. The victims of the shooting, Maya Lupian, Journey Rose Rioter Guerrero, Amari Peterson, and Susano Archuleta, have become symbols of the profound human cost behind crime statistics. Families and friends continue to honor them through memorials, fundraisers, and public remembrances, ensuring that their personalities and lives are not forgotten amid the tragedy. Support from outside the region, including aid for funerals and other gestures of solidarity, reflects how this event struck an emotional chord far beyond Stockton's borders. This shooting is a cautionary reminder that community safety, mental health support, and violence reduction are ongoing challenges that require collective attention and action. For residents of Stockton and viewers of this story worldwide, it reinforces just how fragile life can be and how essential empathy, understanding, and unity are in the aftermath of senseless loss. As Stockton mourns and heals, the legacy of this event will be measured not only in sorrow, but in how the community responds, how it strengthens supports for survivors, honors those who died, and works toward a future where families can celebrate milestones without fear. In telling this story, we remember the lies behind the headlines, and we confront the ongoing struggles that affect communities everywhere. This moment in Stockton's history stands as a sobering testament to both the fragility of life and the power of community. That's a wrap on today's case. But the story doesn't stop here. There are countless voices still unheard, stories still in the shadows, and truths still waiting to be uncovered. Here at True Crime Diaries, we're dedicated to digging deep, exposing the facts, honoring the victims, and keeping their memories alive. Hit subscribe, like this video, turn on notifications so you're always first to know when a new case drops. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.